Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. Democrats could be split for a generation as left tears itself apart over Israel. Good. Good. We have a serious problem in our party right now, said Maryland congressional candidate Joe Vogel. Well, good. You've done it to yourselves with this anti-American, anti-this, colonialists through universities and social media and cable news, biggest offenders being MSNBC and CNN. You've done it to yourself. Since 2008, roughly, was when it really started, really pushing hard. This crazy progressive crap, oppressor-oppressed narrative. That's all you live on. You created these monsters. These monsters now that are tearing apart the Democrat Party. You want to look for blame, look in the mirror. With these crazy stuff that went on between the riots and BLM riots and all through just the last couple of decades at every university, Harvard University has a free speech ranking out of 100 of 0.00. You've done it to yourselves. The Democratic Party is divided over pro-Israel and pro-Palestine factions. Not really. It's divided over anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian factions. In a major split, they may tear the party apart for a generation, according to a recent Wall Street Journal report. Good. Good. The Democrat Party, for the last at least 2 decades plus, has been circling the drain anyway. Some of the biggest names in progressive and leftist politics are expressing concerns the Democratic Party is no longer unified as politicians and commentators continue to battle out in the public square over Israel. The progressive left of the Democrat Party has been back crap crazy for a very long time. And with the intervention of the internet, cable news, they have amplified their back crap crazy message. And the rest of you in the Democrat Party that didn't like it said nothing. Well, they went after Aunt Jemima, for Pete's sake, and Uncle Ben, and the Native American girl on the Land O'Lakes butter and all this crazy crap. You guys said nothing. When they were tearing down statues all over the U.S. and in Europe, you said nothing. You allowed them to do what they do because you were afraid they would turn against your party. You created this monster. It's been an incredibly clarifying and terrifying moment. Clarifying is the key word here. Terrifying moment at the same time for many progressive Jews. Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt. Yeah. He's another. I'm trying to discourage people, but this guy's a piece of crap, too. Told the Wall Street Journal's Molly Ball. They're calling me, tweeting, messaging, expressing shock and sadness that the people they march with, the causes they march for, have abandoned them in their hour of need. Ben Shapiro explained it basically, the black and white of it is concerning the Jewish people in the United States, in the world, too, in Europe, is the fact there that are religious Jews, like Ben Shapiro, and there are ethnic Jews, like all of the Jews in the United States, New York especially, in California. Large segments of Jews, especially in New York. I'm a Roman Catholic. They would call us a person that, it would call us a lap Catholic, that you don't really go along with the deep religious ramifications of the religion that you're in. You just ignore that and go back on your ethnic heritage. That's the problem. That's the issue. And now what's going on is the so-called non-religious Jews are starting to realize that the party and the side that they've been pushing for and voting for decades, the Democrats, have been taken over by racist, anti-Semitic progressives. Progressives have always been racist, always. They were a lot more subtle about it years ago, but today there's no subtlety at all. Let's read on. Yeah, let's go this. I saw a picture the other day. Queers for Palestine. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you were in Palestine and you were gay or trans, they throw you off buildings or worse. And you're supporting them? It's the old narrative. Oppressor and oppressed. That's the old communist, socialist dogma point of view. There's always an oppressor and there's always the oppressed. And they've been feeding this. You know what's even worse is these kids now in these colleges are running up $40, $50, $60, $80, $100,000 bills for their education and their student loans. They're going to be paying off into their 40s. And the same people that are lining their pockets from that money are the same ones that are filling their heads with this garbage. I mean, it's like Stockholm Syndrome. If you're an Arab American, Muslim American, or Palestinian, you feel like you don't matter, you feel invisible, said Waleed Shahid, former spokesman for the Justice Democrats. Look at that sentence. If you're Arab American, Muslim American, or Palestinian, they always have to put labels on people. You can't be just American. You have to be Muslim American. How you identify as? Do you identify as black? Do you identify? These people are the real racists. If you're advocating at all that Palestinian and Israeli lives should be treated equally, there's a feeling that the party doesn't care about you at all. They shouldn't be treated equally. This is war. People in Palestine, 2005, I believe in 2006, if memory serves right, elected Hamas to be their government. Just like in the 1930s, in Germany, they elected who they elected and put who was in charge. And, of course, that went sideways very badly. It's amazing to me. And for a long, long time, because of World War II and the Holocaust, the Jews were considered the oppressed people. All of a sudden now, they're the oppressors. It's the same narrative. Same soup, just reheated. She also pointed to flagging poll numbers for President Biden among young and minority voters. Because Biden has a lot of faults. The guy's a disaster. But he goes along with the progressives. I mean, look at some of the so-called internet influencers he had at the White House. Look at all those BLM riots. Not only did it discourage them, they encouraged them to do it. They used the progressive far left as basically idiots, useful idiots to push for the presidential election in 2020, and before that as well. And now that they're in charge, they want these progressive idiots to go away. Well, they're not. It's a monster they created. A recent Gallup poll found that Biden's job approval rating among Democrats has tumbled 11 percentage points in the past month to 75%. I'm surprised it's that high. The worst reading of his presidency from his own party. This drop has pushed his overall approval rating down 4 points. I still can't believe it's still 37%, matching his personal low. Now look at this. Look at this. This is in the United States. This is in New York City, Washington, D.C., tearing down posters and pictures put up on walls of kidnapped and missing people from Israel being torn down. They're not hiding it anymore. The progressive left has always been the racist, always. And the Democrats have always known that. But they use them to get power. Now they have to pay the price. The Democrat Party is split, and I hope it splits in a million pieces. It'll take a generation for it to come back to a decent party. It shouldn't be that hard to condemn the murder of innocent women and children and seniors, yet many have either said nothing or equivocated. That's the key thing there. They've said nothing over the years, said Maryland State Delegate and Congressional candidate Joe Vogel. We have a serious problem in our party right now, caused by you. According to Ball, the debate over the Israeli-Hamas war has also spilled into the White House, where Biden on Thursday met with Muslim leaders who chided him for not showing more empathy for Palestinians in the remarks on the conflict. It would be like protesting in London in 1944-45, the bombing of German cities. Way, way more German civilians died in World War II than British citizens. It's just the numbers, it's just a fact. But did you see protests in England about killing civilians? It was war. It was war, and that's part of the horror of it. As Robert E. Lee said, whose statue they just melted down, it's good that war is so terrible that maybe we grow too fond of it. A top state official resigned October 18th in protest of the administration's approach. And Secretary Anthony Blinken sent a letter to a diplomatic staff seeking to quell internal dissent. Let them go. Yes, you'll lose power. It'll be temporary. Rebuild the Democrat Party. I used to be a Democrat. In fact, I was a local elected official in upstate New York in the early 2000s. I saw back then what was happening. I wanted to leave the party. Many talked me out of it when I was an elected official. I did leave after. Over 10 years ago, I left. But I saw this coming. I saw the danger of it. And I'm not the smartest guy around. I'm average intelligence. And I saw this coming. And so what did local Democrats do where I live? State Democrats, nationally, and even internationally, as these progressives got more and more bold and crazier and crazier and crazier, they said nothing. In fact, they even encouraged it because they saw them as useful idiots to gain power. Well, now they're in power, and now these monsters that they've created are causing them problems. Well, good. What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. What do you think? Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.